Good morning, it's me, Fermín Buitrago Romero. This is my final activity for materials design for virtual environments, and it deals with designing English language teaching materials for virtual environments, but of course, as a complement of the virtual, of the face to face activities. Virtual learning environment, critical elements. The most important thing right here is to recognize that we have to take into account elements like cognitive strategies, learned centeredness, interactivity, collaborative learning, and social presence. I am going to use Padlet as my virtual tool, and this is my link. The first part of the work is a space I call challenge. It works like the warming up. It must be characterized by an academic challenge, a problemic question, or a problemic situation. As Jonas and et al. In 1995 said, learning environment can be helped to be optimized by the constructivist approach and the evaluation. Thorpe in 1995 said that learning is dynamic and unpredictable in many things, and that can be encouraged by learning diaries, reflections, and journaling activities. That's what I try to take into account to this work. Second part is knowledge. You can use this space to let students know what the topic is. It is the place where you share the grammar or theoretical part of the class. It must be a short, clear, and current space and well organized. Hemstra in 1994 suggests that students are based on three things: how to learn, how to locate resources, and how to assess their learning processes. They can develop skills necessary for success in a variety of training or instructional settings. It is very important to take into account these elements in order to create a virtual element like this. Individual activity. In the class, you could give the opportunity of using tablets, cell phones, or any other technological device. At home, it is a good support to realize activities in advance. You can take into account flexibility and constraint of time and resources, having in mind the different student skills. Taylor in 1994 talked about levels of expertise that can be learned and the sequence to get it. Collaborated learning. Rochelle and Tisley in 1995 talk about collaborative activity as a coordinated synchronous activity that is the result of a continued attempt to construct and maintain a shared conception of a problem. Socializing. This is the practical and attractive way to stimulate and let them feel confident about the big group expressing activity. It is important to talk here about feedback. Spitzer in 1986 characterized feedback as the item that can be improved by providing it continuously, reinforcing positive aspects. Feedback is not a specific moment in the process. It must be spread along all the process in order to be real important and significant. If you don't use it that way, uh, the process is a kind of cut and meaningless process. Evaluation. Quiz that could be presented in an interactive way to show them results and feedback instantly. Uh, in this moment, I think that the quiz I prepared is a very traditional evaluation way. But it is important in this case because they have their results and the feedback instantly. So it is important for them to present it because they are going to feel more confident about the things they can do. A different situation is the assessment. Assessment is the constant informative through element through continuing dialogue learner mediator. Some ludic stressless activities could help them find new vocabulary or other aspects of the lesson. One of the most important characteristics of this page Padlet is that, as you could see in the upper left side of the last of the elements that I posted, you could edit it, you could erase it, you could change it, you could change, and that is very important for you because you can renew, change and change all of the activities that you prepare, and those activities are not really long nor so short, and they are very meaningful as I try to do. Elements that you can have in mind in order to do these kind of works, that those are the factors to have in mind: learner, curriculum, context, resources, personal confidence, and personal competences. So each student is a different world, so you can have in mind that all of these elements could be changed radically when you are working this process. Some directions to be successful about virtual learning environment when you are designing English language teaching materials. English language materials should have these characteristics. They have to be in context. They have to develop learning skills and strategies. They are using language for same functions. You have to use integrated language use. They have to be authentic. They have to be linked with each other. They have to be attractive. They have to be using right instructions. They have to be uh, they have to have some kind of flexibility, and they have to be a motivated interaction. Uh, New sources in order to have in mind when you are working this kind of designing: academic or social communities that are growing each and every day more and more, image sharing, digital conversations, voice thread that joins sound and images, and at last, virtual communities that are the most important elements that the children use today. Virtual learning environments. Future of education is our motivation. We have to be up to date in order not to be tiring for students. They could include mixing virtual and presential school that from now on, and holographic or sci-fi schools that it is possible that uh, you can watch it. you can watch in the future. Conclusions about this work. This tool could be used in very different ways. I can, for example, upload my guides, my class planning, photos of different activities, videos related to the topic, images, students' text, students' mentions, and many other elements to let them feel a part of the process. And besides, to let them propose different activities to avoid monotony in the process. I can also create and share my own videos, flashcards, and audios. I start working in this page and I discovered it was very funny and very easy to use. It is not so difficult. This virtual item is a very good tool to try to be more innovative and creative when organizing classes. It helps developing the communicative process. You could use it in and outside the classroom, and I can pay carefully attention to my students' process. Besides, I can create a space where they can let me know their questions and doubts. It is a very complete tool to be used in teaching, learning process. I can upload documents, tests, photos, pictures, videos, chronograms, and tests online, or some other items like links and buttons. Future in education is the mixed use of face-to-face and virtual tools, resources, and methodologies that bring us better results in learning teaching process. All the activities that you saw, that you watched in this presentation, can be the main activity or the auxiliary activity, the eight of those activities, both in the classroom and at home, and you could use it the best you can. Thank you.